everybody. Welcome everybody to Monday morning, come back to love meditation. Yes, after this, we're taking a short break. Well, we're taking a break kind of for the summer, I'll say. We're going to meet July 15th, and then there'll be a date in August, which I haven't chosen yet. So yeah, we have a couple of weeks of break of re-listening to any of the recordings of this beautiful time together that are posted on my YouTube channel. So I will send that out. But in the meantime, let's have a breath and gently close our eyes. Or if you're outside, you can just expand your awareness to the beauty around you, of which there is plenty. As we breathe in, let's connect with the earth. Last week, we talked so much about how inviting the earth to contribute to our lives, our endeavors, everything we're creating and manifesting is so important. So this is another touch back in with that message, that truth. So opening up to connection with the earth in a deep way. Invite you to just breathe in her energy for a moment, whether it's the trees or the beach or the ocean, the ground beneath you. If you're in a city, maybe there are some plants nearby, or just some, lots of parks in the city. Yeah, something you see daily that reminds you that there's a deep, rich earth surrounding us at all times. So I invite you to lower your walls, lower your barriers wherever you are. Just open up to being in full allowance of what is, of what's present, and certainly of receiving more deeply. Beginning perhaps with the earth's energy and continuing beyond that as we drop into our meditation this morning. So when you lower your walls and barriers, it might invite you to relax your shoulders and your belly. Exhale with a sound or a sigh. Relax your jaw. Wherever you are, even if you're traveling and there's people around or you're outside, it's like what you are doing in your own being impacts you, but also impacts everybody around you. So they may not consciously be thanking you, but in some way, shape, or form, everybody is also receiving from your practice and from our practice. So expanding outward now in all directions, front and back, way, way out, side to side, way, way out, above and below. And continue expanding across the continent, the oceans, the next continent, and all around the globe. And as you exhale, relaxing your walls and barriers even more. And it doesn't mean taking on people's things and letting them stick to you, because those things we do want to clear with intentional clearing practices and rituals. But it does invite allowance without judgment. Being an allowance of all that is right now could be a tall order, but also a really lovely invitation of staying in a place of love, no matter what's happening around you or around the earth in different places. So expanding out into the universe now, up towards the incredible full moon, the sun. We're at the summer solstice time, so we just passed the longest day of the year. But these days that are, around this time, this week, these are all really beautiful, long summer days. Breathing in the light that we all are reflected back in the sun, in the day, in the daytime hours. So continuing to expand out to the stars, planets, the moons, the entire solar system, and beyond this universe, because I don't know, I always say, like, we don't really know if we're the only universe. Why would we be the only universe? Like, that just makes no sense to me. Not that anything about our human existence really makes any sense. How did we even get here? And what is this all about? Great questions to ask so that you can open up your awareness of truth. Ah. So with that, I'm going to bring us back to the questions, and a reminder that when we draw conclusions, when we tell a story about the past, or we tell a story about the future, we're drawing conclusions and making a statement, which keeps things in a really limited space. And the truth is, we don't have any idea. And the truth is, when we stay in limited space, most of us feel really confined and really desiring of space and openness and possibility and choice. And when we stay in a confined space and we draw conclusions, we limit our own choices. Like, not intentionally doing that, but that is what happens. And so what would it take to remember to ask questions instead of making statements? What would it take? That's a question in of itself. You can always use that as your prequel to the question, what would it take? Or what else is possible? Or how does it get any better than this? Whether it's amazing or crappy or anywhere in between. It's like, how does it get any better than this? And when you're having an amazing time, that's an amazing question to ask. How does it get any better than this? Wow. What else is possible? So I invite you in this moment to think about something you've been drawing conclusions about. Maybe it's changing something related to your health or your work, or maybe there's something going on in your relationships that feels stuck, in any relationships with partners, kids, parents, neighbors, friends, all relationships that are so powerful and potent for our growth, especially if they're really close relationships. Maybe it's a relationship with an animal or a pet. And maybe there's something stuck that feels stuck. So think of something And then I invite you to ask a question about that. Just come up with a question. Like I said, you can use the sort of cheat sheet, which is, what would it take to fill in the blank? What would it take to change this situation? What would it take to have more space or spaciousness in my life so that what I am wanting to call in has the space to actually drop in and find me? You could ask about your income. What would it take to double my income? Just ask the question, see what shows up. You never know what's going to show up, if that's something that you are desiring. Or what would it take to not be working anymore, if that's what you're desiring? What do you desire? And then ask a question. I invite you to have a breath, gently open your eyes when you're ready and write down that question. I invite you to write down that question. I'm sure all of you have something you can write on, or if you're outside with your phone, you can kind of use the note app or whatever you have and jot down that question. And then the invitation is to put that somewhere that you see it every day. Because we tend to do these things and then we put them aside, and then it's like a month later, oh yeah, I was focusing on my health, but now I got distracted and I'm focusing on my work, and life is just like one big ADD experience these days. So what would it take for that not to be like that? And that's the question that goes with that statement. What would it take to slow down, to focus, to relax, and receive? And with that, I'm going to bid farewell to